All right. So now we are going into leg circle. And the rule with leg circle is we do need to have a flexible hamstring. So for the classic mat, we do have this foot strap, and that helps, especially if I move back from it and I really flex my foot, I have a secure base to keep that leg extended. Let's do a little stretching first. So we're going to hold behind the back of the thigh, just above the knee, flex your foot, pull the knee in close to your chest as much as you can, and let's use our rhythmic breathing. We're going to inhale, 2, point, exhale, stretch, flex, in, 2, and point, out, flex, 2, and point, out, and again, flex, 2, and point. Now release your hands wherever your leg is. It can be at 90 degrees, it can be here. For people with very, very tight hamstrings, it's a great idea to give them help with a band. Yes, especially if the leg is so tight that they're past 90. This is very, very helpful. Okay. Because I was a dancer, I don't need it so much, but I'm going to take the leg now and I'm going to windshield wipe it. I'm keeping my hip down to begin across the body as far as it goes. There's a stretch here, and open it out. Again, I don't want to go too far and release my supporting side. So just as far as I can go without releasing the hip, across and open and across and open. Let's switch legs and do the stretches that I just did on the other side. So we're going to hold behind the thigh, flex foot, pull that thigh as close as you're able, and exhale all your air out. Before you start, you're going to pulse. Exhale, point to the ceiling, and reach. 2 more. And reach, and inhale, 2, and reach. The windshield wiper. So we go across the body, and you may notice one leg is tighter than the other and doesn't have the same range of motion. Honor that. And reach across, and over, and open. And one more time, windshield wipe, loosen it up in that hip socket. And let's go back to the first leg. So what I'd like to do now, we're going to do leg circle, but I want to show the most advanced possibilities as well as the modifications for beginners. So go to the across position. This is usually how we start our leg circle. And before we circle the leg, this time I want you to lift the hip and pull it back down. In breath, lift it and pull back down. So in the advanced leg circle, we're allowed to lift the hip in the across position and the leg circles down. The hip and rib have to come to the mat about here, and then the leg goes around and comes center. So in other words, we don't roll so far to the open position, but on the across position, we're allowed to lift that hip. Let's do that on the other side, and then we'll come back and do leg circle. We'll do 3, keeping the pelvis square, and then 3, lifting the hip so that we have a choice. So this is just the hip mobilization. Bring the leg across the body, lift the hip, and pull through the rib, waist, and hip to come back. So notice that your obliques are very involved with this diagonal reach of the leg and the recovery. So it's good if you in-breath as you reach, exhale, pull the ribs, waist, and hip back to center. So very slowly with the hip lift, let's do one leg circle. Lift the hip, in-breath, circle the leg down, and when it crosses the leg that's extended, begin your exhale and bring it home. All right, so the mat work is quite different from the reformer work where we're working with the spring and we move smoothly. The mat work has some dynamic of a quick inhale, a quick exhale, a slow inhale, and a quick exhale, or a quick inhale and a slow exhale. And all of these different breathing patterns determine the rhythm of the work. So I really like, if this is your leg, an in-breath is slow, you hold it, and then exhale, bring the leg home, and pause for a moment before you start your next circle. So we're going to do the first leg, 3, keeping the pelvis neutral and level, and 3, if you're able, lifting the hip. If you don't want to lift the hip, just do 3 more, keeping your pelvis stable. That would be a beginner to intermediate level. The hip lifting is advanced. All right, so first leg, starting up in the air in the home position. We go across the body, quick in-breath through the nose, and exhale, bring it around. 1, keep the pelvis steady. Inhale, exhale, 2. Inhale, exhale, 3. Lifting the hip if you're able. Inhale, exhale, pull the abs in. And pull the abs in. And pull the abs in. Reverse it. Keep the pelvis stable. Ready? Inhale, exhale, pelvis stable. 1. Inhale, exhale, pelvis stable. 2. And 3. And lifting the hip and come across, pull the abs in. And hip up, hip down. Now, before we do the other side, nice little stretch. Bend that knee once again. Grab the foot with the opposite hand. Place the foot on the groin. Let the knee fall open. Anchor yourself. You're going to bring yourself up and do a little stretch there. The figure 4 stretch feels good. We've just worked all those muscles. And then stretch that leg up in the air. And it's going to slide down. I need to sit up to get my strap. And I'm moving back to tug on it. So leg circles, 3, pelvis stable, 3 with the hip lifting. Exhale all your air out before you start. Start across the midline. Inhale, pelvis stable. 1. Inhale, exhale, 2. Inhale, exhale, 3. Inhale, lift the hip and exhale, pull it center. Inhale, lift and circle. Exhale, pull it center. 1 more and center. Reverse your circle. Inhale, keep the pelvis stable. Exhale, center. And 2. And 3. With the hip lifting, if you're able, and circle. Inhale, lift the hip and circle. Inhale, lift the hip and circle. Bend that knee. Grab the foot with the opposite hand. Let the knee fall open. Breathe. And do your figure 4 stretch. Relax.